I'd like to call a special village board meeting to order. Let the record reflect that it is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. It's 6:42 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This meeting is being conducted this evening pursuant to Governor Pritzker's Disaster Proclamation and Public Act 101-0640, which amends requirements of the Open Meetings Act due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Pursuant to the same, the village board finds that it would be impractical to conduct an in-person meeting with all members present. All the elected officials are present this evening, so the rest doesn't apply. All the materials for this meeting are available on the village website, and we recommend that the members, pardon me, my phone's going off. We recommend that the members and the public follow the agenda as posted. For items with public comment, after members have spoken, I will forward public comment as follows. Once I, the chair, have a list of all public commenters, I will call on each person present at the meeting and afford them 3 minutes for their comment. Further time up to an additional 3 minutes may be granted by motion of the village board. The public was also provided the opportunity to submit a request until noon today via the email to the clerk's office, which none was done. The public was also provided the same opportunity to submit written comments until noon today by emailing the public comment to the clerk's office or by placing the written comment in the Dropbox, which none was as well. Right, Deputy Clerk? Thank you. Finally, after each vote this evening, the vote will be conducted via a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Burke.
Here.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Brennan.
Present.
Trustee Galante.
Here.
Trustee Glatz.
Present.
Trustee Mueller.
Here.
President Vandenberg.
Present, thank you. Item number 1, at this time, I'd ask for motion to consider approval of the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Been
Second.
properly moved and seconded, thank you. Please call the roll.
Trustee Burke.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Item number 2, at this time, I'd ask the board to consider approval of the minutes of the special village board meeting that was held on January 26, 2021.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Trustee Brennan,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Brady. Please call the roll.
Trustee Burke.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Item 3, Clerk, Trustee Glatz.
Trustee Glatz and I would like to receive presentations for this week's spotlighted Tinley Park businesses. I would first like to introduce Tinley Park Bowling Lanes. Tinley Park Bowling Lanes has been in Tinley Park since 1968. They employ 20 people and will be telling us about how the village recently helped them with the grant. Please join me in welcoming Cassie Boat of Tinley Park Bowling Lanes.
Thank you for asking me to be here tonight. I just want to start off by saying the village has been so helpful this past year during the pandemic, and I really appreciate how prompt all my questions and concerns were addressed. I also want to say thank you for notifying me to apply for the big grant. Because of the grant from the DCEO, Tinley Bowl was able to revive from the pandemic and continue to keep its doors open. Tinley Bowl started in 1962 with my grandfather, Art, and 2 other partners. By 1967, Art bought out the other partners, but unfortunately, the bowling alley burnt down. It has solely been in our family since 1968, when Art rebuilt the bowling alley. During that time, we just had 12 lanes. In the 70s, we added batting cages, along with the mini golf course outside. In 1990, they took out the batting cages and added on to the bowling alley. Now our center is 28 lanes. In the early 2000s, we added on to the beer garden that we call the backyard. It offers an outdoor bar, horseshoes, beanbags, and volleyball. Tinley Bowl is filled with history, and I still constantly learn more about it today. In the early 80s, Craig, my father, took over the bowling alley. He had the prime time of bowling. I love hearing all the stories he tells me from back in the day. He dedicated his life to this place. Greg is now semi-retired after he suffered a massive stroke in March of 2019. I thank God every day my dad is still with us because he's the man who taught me everything. He's the one who taught me how to run a business. I have been working since I was a kid. One of the memories that really sticks with us is he always said you can have anything you want as long as you work hard for it. I remember wanting that iPod Touch so bad when I was little. So every day after school, I would come in, wash the chairs, or anything that needed to be clean. It might have taken some time, but I eventually bought that iPod Touch. My dad taught me the value of $1 and that you cannot get what you want unless you work hard for it. This is something I most definitely will continue to teach my kids. Since March of 2019, I really stepped up and took on the family business. It has been quite the roller coaster ride dealing with my dad who had a stroke while also being pregnant with my second child at the time, and then 2020, the pandemic. It has been rough, but we made it this far, and we are not going anywhere. I am blessed to be raising my children here and watching them grow up just like I did. I would not be where I am today without my 20 employees and all of their hard work, especially during the pandemic. They are like my family, and I appreciate everything they have done and still do today. Tinley Bowl offers something for all ages. We have 28 lanes, a full-service bar, and a kitchen. In the summertime, we offer sand volleyball, beanbags, and horseshoes. We schedule all types of parties, whether they take place inside the bowling alley or outside. We have hosted birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, retirement parties, graduations, and even a wedding. Tinley Bowl is a great place to bring your family and meet up with some friends to have a good time. Thank you again for asking me to be here tonight. It's truly an honor.
I think some of the village employees could attest to the sand volleyball games. I remember one of my former administrative assistants sprained an ankle there, as a matter of fact, but didn't stop him from having a good time.
That's a great, I love it.
Great pick, Kirsten. Be hard to follow now. The next, I don't think they need much of an introduction if you're from Tinley Park. Ed and Joe's is celebrating 60 years in business in Tinley Park this month. When he's fully staffed, pre-COVID, they employ 40 to 50 people. Everybody, please join me in congratulating and welcoming Mike and Ellen Clark of Ed and Joe's.
No, I don't need. My wife said I should have wrote something, but I've been telling my story for 60 years, so I think I can wing it. Thank you for the invite. We really appreciate it. Saturday will be the official 60 years for Ed and Joe's, February 6th. So that's quite an accomplishment. So let me digress a little bit. Back in 1955, my parents moved to Tinley Park, built a home in Parkside on Maple Lane Drive. At that time, they had 4 kids. My dad worked for Illinois Bell, so he would catch a 7 o'clock train every morning, get off at 6 o'clock, and run the carryout. He also had a TV repair shop in our basement. I still have some of the old soldering irons back then from there. He decided he needed a little more income for the kids, to support everybody. We went to St. George School. So he took on a job in Worth at a place called Joe and Dick's Pizza Ranch, where he honed his skills there. And he tells stories about Dick's wife. They had an apartment above the restaurant, and she was very critical of the pizza makers, and he never got one complaint or one, derogatory comment about his pizzas, that she loved his pizzas. So in 1961, or actually it was 1960, they came out to Tinley Park, and Butch Funk, who owned Funk's Tavern at the time, built a carryout for my dad, where our kitchen is right now, and he opened up his doors on February 6th. There was Venuso Pizzas, and then there was Tian's actually had a pizzeria at the time. And after a year of being in business, Harold Tian went to my dad and said, well, I guess we have to accept you as a business in Tinley Park. So, so from there, the carryout was very, strong a business. It was 1970. I remember being in the kitchen, or the dining room area of the kitchen, and my parents were sitting at the table, and my dad said, do you think Michael's ready? I was 12 years old. So I started working for my dad. He said it was nothing different than cutting the grass in the yard. It's okay. I making dough, mixing the pizza sausage, cutting cheese. He wouldn't let me out of the back kitchen because I was too young. And I worked through that throughout high school. And then in 1978, or actually 76, when I just graduated, he offered the business to me, and I said, you know, Dad, I'm just out of high school, you know, I don't want to own a business yet. A year later, he offered it to me again at 19 years old, and I bought the business January 1st, 1970. I took over. I did a cool thing. I had, if anybody knows the Who and the song "We Won't Get Fooled Again," the middle introduction with the keyboards going. The first line that came out after that was "Meet the new boss, the same as the old boss." So we played. That was kind of cool. And that began the first couple of years, the worst time of my life, because all the employees were my friends. And prior to me owning the business, I could say, hey guys, my dad's on my back, let's get things done. And now my dad's not on my back, it's my business. So we held a meeting, and you know, I'm trying to explain it to everybody what we're gonna do, what our goals are. And at the end of the meeting, two of my best friends still today said, okay, Mike, let's understand this. So there's no laughing, smiling, or having fun. I'm like, yep, that's about it. So we did a carry out until the former Feast Pub was closed down. That's when we got our introduction to the restaurant business, where our bar is now. That's where we started the dining room. The rest of the, you know, Tom had delusion of grandeur, thinking he was going to come back into town. So we opened up the little restaurant, got our feet wet in the dining aspect of it. And so then finally, a couple years later, we finally opened up the whole restaurant. We had to go the first year without selling liquor because they were shut down for a liquor violation. So we made it through that. I got the support of the village board. They, you know, came to me and said, hey, Mike, you know, we'll grant you a liquor license. Just don't disappoint us. And I hope, you know, being here now 6 years, that we didn't do that. So then it was around, right around 2000 when Tinley Park decided to do the redevelopment of the downtown area. And my wife and I, by the way, this is my wife, Ellen, if you don't know. So, I remember it clearly, we sat at one of the tables at the top of the stairs at the restaurant and said, look, we're at this crossroads. Either we continue our business the way it is, or we're going to take it to the next level. So we decided to take the next level. We wanted to be the part of the whole redevelopment of the downtown. And we took advantage of the grant program, the facade program that the village was offering. We decided to hire an executive chef, and brought Chef Kevin Kincaid in. Totally changed everything we were doing. You know, we used to do little shrimp baskets and stuff. He brought a whole culinary experience that we never seen before, and that is still today. Kevin's still with us as a consultant, with us and helping us along the way. So 2000, we remodeled. We shut down for about 6 weeks. We reopened, and it is what Ed and Joe's is today. In that time frame, I got my first introduction to marketing. One of our suppliers, C&E Pizza Supply at the time, said, you know, Mike, you can do a lot more. And so for the whole year, he split the cost of we put a 8.5 by 11 menu out in the Galaxy of Values, and that was my introduction to marketing. And things just took off from there. So now, not only are we owners of a restaurant that we operate, but we also are a marketer of a restaurant. And marketing is really what has taken us here. We probably have about 20,000 members in our database. So at any given time, we can send out emails, Facebook messages, anything to get customers to come back. We really feel we have a rapport with our customers. You know, we made it through 9/11, you know, figure that out. We made it through the 2009, the recession, and then now we're making it through COVID. Each time we learned from it, and we, you know, just, you know, figured things out and able to grow. So you know, here we are, 60 years, a pretty amazing feat, you know, that we can survive and we're still growing. The reason for our success is the culture we build, you know. We hire the right people. This year, or within the last 2 years, 2 people have retired from Ed and Joe's after 20 years of service. And to keep employees that long in a restaurant business, that's pretty amazing. But again, it's the culture that we build. And people love to. Probably one of the best comments I ever heard from a customer, it was on the deck and I was walking through. He grabbed me by the shirt and he goes, "Mike, your people really look like they enjoy working here." And I thought that was pretty cool, you know? So anyway, so we have a lot planned for our 60th anniversary. You know, we're all year. We're partnering with Tinley Wish. We're going to be doing fundraisers for them throughout the year. Hopefully COVID will subside and we can start doing business after hours and different things for the year. But it's just really exciting to be here and to say, hey, we made 60. So one other thing is not related to the business is I, you know, spent 16 years on the Main Street Commission, and I love the downtown. I love everything that's going on. I love all the new stuff that's being built. I believe in walkability for the downtown. So Sunday, I'm leaving after shoveling, and I felt like I was at the gym for 8 hours. Oh, it was that terrible. Anyway, I'm driving down Old Park Avenue, and there's this family, the parents and 3 children, walking down the middle of Old Park Avenue in the turning lane because our sidewalks are not shoveled. So as we continue to redevelop our downtown, please keep in mind that walkability is so important to the success of our downtown. That's it. Thank you.
Congratulations on 60 and 60 more.
Well, maybe not.
You wanted him to write that down? All that? That was a pretty good wing, Mike.
Right?
Man, congratulations.
Congratulations. I love the taco pizza.
Thank you.
You never had it? Oh, my God. I would not admit that here.
Oh, it's the best. It's second to none.
It is.
I'll concur with that.
All right, we'll continue on, moving forward to item 4. This time I'd ask for a motion for approval of the consent agenda items, pardon me. Is there such a motion?
Second?
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded, thank you. Clerk, would you like to read those on the record, please?
There's one item for the consent agenda. Item A, consider payments of outstanding bills in the amount of $469,675.03 as listed on the vendor board approval report dated January 28th, 2021.
Anybody want to remove that bill from the consent?
Nice.
Swear it off.
Just
There is none, please call the roll.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Item number 5, Trustee Mueller.
I move we consider approving a temporary use permit for a COVID testing facility at 8150 185th Street.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
The petitioner, Mohammed Al-Masari, on behalf of Al-Sham Enterprises LLC, has applied for a temporary use permit for COVID testing at 8150 185th Street. The term of the permit is for 6 months and includes conditions as outlined in the staff memo. I'm asking you tonight to approve the temporary use COVID testing with conditions outlined in the staff report memo dated February 2nd, 2021.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Please call the roll.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you. Item 6, Trustee Mueller.
I move we consider approving a temporary use permit for a COVID testing facility located at 7711 159th Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
The petitioner, Rocket Testing, has applied for a temporary use permit for a COVID testing facility in a parking lot adjacent to 7711 159th Street. The term of the permit is for 6 months and includes conditions outlined in the staff memo. So today I'm asking that we approve the temporary use COVID testing for rocket testing with the conditions outlined in the staff memo dated February 2nd, 2021.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Please call the roll.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 7, Trustee Mueller.
I move we consider ordinance 2021-0-003, granting a special use for a substantial deviation from the North Creek Business Park PUD with an exception for a drive-through menu board sign.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Cindy? The petitioner, Lenny McHenry, on behalf of Lenny's Food and Fuel at 183rd Street LLC, is seeking approval for a second drive-through menu board sign. The request will allow for a order sign for the Do-Right Donuts and Chicken to expedite drive-through ordering at 7451 183rd Street in the ORI PD zoning district. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on January 21st, 2021, and voted 5-1 to recommend approval of the special use in accordance with the plans as listed in the findings of fact in the staff report. This ordinance is eligible for adoption, or, is that?
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller.
Yeah, sorry, first reading.
Any questions from the board? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8.
I move we consider adopting ordinance 2021-0-004, approving the official 2020 Tinley Park zoning map.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Bill. Per the Illinois Municipal Code, municipalities must adopt an official zoning map by March 31st of each year. No properties are being rezoned as part of the adoption of the official zoning map. It is only reflecting changes and corrections completed during the previous year. The Plan Commission Plan Commission reviewed the draft 2020 official zoning map on January 21st, 2021, and voted 6-0 to recommend approval. This ordinance is eligible for adoption today.
Any questions from the board? Any from the public? Please call the roll.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 9. At this time, I ask the board consider adopting ordinance 2021-0-005, decreasing the number of Class A liquor licenses that can be issued in the village and increasing the number of AV liquor licenses that can be issued in the village for Aurelio's Pizza at 15901 Oak Park Avenue. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
It's seconded by,
Trustee Brady.
Brady.
thank you. Aurelio's has been in Tinley Park for over 20 years. With the challenges restaurants have faced over COVID-19, Aurelio's would like to add video gaming as an additional revenue source for their business. It will continue to remain a family-style restaurant and has met the board's requirements to keep the gaming area separated in a 21 and over section of the establishment. This item was discussed thoroughly at the Committee of the Whole meeting on January 26, 2021, and was recommended for approval. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Please call the roll.
Trustee Berg.
Abstain.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 10, Trustee Brady.
Yes, I'd like to have the board consider adopting Resolution 2021-R-002, authorizing an agreement with CDW for the renewal of Microsoft product site.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been seconded by Trustee Glatz. Thank you.
Staff recommends that the CDW for the annual renewal of Microsoft product site for the village operations. The cost of this service is $73,307.47 and includes in current year budget. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Any comments from the board? No comments from the public? Please call the roll.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 11, receive comments from staff.
Thank you, Mayor Vandenberg. Just want to make a couple announcements here. We have moved to Phase 4 today with the state and Region 10 for suburban Cook County. So so that is great news. The second thing I'd like to just talk about and recap, at the Tinley Park Vaccination Center, we've come up to 1 week now. And all I can ask again for people is to be patient with the vaccine rollout. This is a metered type of situation that the county actually has no control of. It's the vaccine that comes to the state of Illinois and it's dispersed to us. Give you an idea, on Sunday when there was the release of the appointments, there was over 10,000 appointments released. They were gone in 11 minutes. So it is a supply issue for the vaccine. And I know the state and the county are trying their best to procure more vaccine that comes from the government. And they're just waiting on the flow. But everything is working smoothly at the convention center. We're going through 2,000 to 2,500 vaccines a day. And again, it's all dependent on what that weekly supply is. And again, is metered by the state and the county on whatever the vaccination supply is. We know we do have an issue with some of the seniors that we're trying to address, but we ask that, you know, family members and friends try to work with seniors that might need help, but unfortunately, the only way to get a vaccine through the county at any of the vaccination centers is through this website. And it is a very tedious sometimes situation because they have to have the cell phone or an email capability to get notified that the vaccine is available. If they don't have that capability to immediately, when they get the notification to get on the website, they're gonna lose their spot for that vaccine because of the amount of draw that's on it. So literally you're competing with millions of people in Cook County for these vaccines. And it's again, as a supply issue, I ask people to be patient. This is a county operation. Village of Tinley Park is supporting this as it relates to the safety and security of that site. And we're trying to keep it run smoothly, and so far we've had no major issues out there.
Pat, anything else from staff?
Pat, I want to ask a question. What has been resolved about Will County residents?
Will County is trying to get some of their they are doing some vaccinations for 1A and some of the 1Bs. To get it more dispersed, I know they're in the process of planning to get some of those larger sites up and running.
Okay. I had a lot of talk with seniors from Will County, and that's why I wondered.
They're trying to get set up at the high school on Harlem as a major site.
Okay. Thank you.
Nothing else from staff. We'll proceed to item 12, receive comments from the board. I'll lead it off by saying I have a couple of statements to make. First, it's already been released on our village Facebook page, but late Friday, January 30th, and certainly Saturday morning, the 31st, the Village of Tinley Park, myself, and several village staff and certainly elected officials were made aware that there's been devastating floods in our sister city in Budigen, Germany. The village at Sister Cities Commission and other Tinley Park residents are keeping, obviously, Budigen and all of their residents in our thoughts as the cleanup process begins. Also, there'll be more information coming through all of our communication channels on being the good neighbor that we are, being the good partner that we are in our worldly duties. And it is our hope that we'd be able to provide some type of support, resources, economic resources in any capacity. So please follow along as we continue to get information from Budigen on what we could do to help them get through a pretty nasty situation. Secondly, I'd like to just commend all of our village staff, certainly our Public Works Department, all the emergency services over the previous winter storm that Tinley Park had a couple days ago. It was a fairly long event, and I just want to commend them all for a job well done. Certainly, I think there was no major incidences, which is a great thing to hear, and certainly, thank you for all their hard work. Lastly, obviously, Probably by now you've seen that we're coming upon another winter storm or weather issue. We have some sub-zero temperatures coming into the area. So I'd ask on all Tinley Park residents to make sure you're looking after your family members that might be elderly or anybody that might not be able to get out of the house. Check on your neighbors, and if there's any problems, obviously to reach out to the Tinley Park Police Department. I'm sure that information will be coming out if necessary, that emergency centers might be open or et cetera. I'm not sure what the protocols are on that yet, but to please just be diligent and safe and continue to be good neighbors and watch out for your neighbors. Thank you. Any other board members have any comments?
I just wanted to add, speaking of taking care of your neighbors and that, be aware of all the plowing that's been being done, both by the Public Works Department as well as your neighbors and yourself. Watch out for the fire plugs. Make sure that the fire plugs, hydrants are cleared away so that they're accessible to people, and keep those clear. So God forbid, if they're needed, they can find them. So keep an eye on that in the neighborhood. Right, Chief?
I'd like to make a comment too, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to ask village and residents and staff to, 13 years ago, this is the 13th anniversary of the Lane Bryant incident over in the Brookside Marketplace, just to keep those families in your thoughts and prayers on this very difficult day. I know we as a village have spent a lot of, resources and still are to this day, trying to solve that crime. But to keep those families in everyone's thoughts and prayers, it was a very terrible day, and I just wanted to make sure that we mentioned that today. So it's hard to believe it's been 13 years. So,
I believe there's still a $100,000 reward on that, if I'm not mistaken.
so
Public service announcement. If you know them, 100 grand. Thanks, Trustee Brennan.
yep.
Anything else from the board? Very good. We move on to item 13, receive comments from the public. I don't believe there's any public that are present this evening. In that case, then we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Greg's here.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Properly moved by Trustee Berg and seconded by Trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Here, yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee
Read my
Galante.
notes.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you.